Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we've got an interesting fact to tell you about the Nord Stream gas sabotage. Who's responsible for it? Talking about the dark sabotage of the Nord Stream, why are we in the most dangerous moment of the war? We'll discuss everything you need to know in today's video. But first, please like and subscribe to this channel, then sit back and relax. The implications are so disturbing that they indicate that we have entered a new phase of the war, with all the consequences. It only took us a few hours to find out that the leaks that affected the Nord Stream 1 and 2 gas pipelines this Tuesday were almost certainly the product of sabotage. Not only are there no plausible alternative explanations, but seismologists in Sweden and Denmark recorded what were explosions just before the releases occurred. Soon after, the idea that there had been an intentional action to damage the pipelines were confirmed by the Danish government, and somewhat later by NATO. Government officials have stated that if the leak is not quickly repaired, the pipelines could become permanently unusable due to marine corrosion. Russia and the US clash over the sabotage of the Nord Stream gas pipeline. Experts are not clear if it was an accident, because the explosions were so strong that they were even registered on the Richter scale of seismic movements in Russia. And the US got involved over the sabotage of the Nord Stream gas pipeline during the UN Security Council meeting. Who blew up the Nord Stream gas pipeline? Any private detective would start by looking for who would benefit most from the sabotage of the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, designed to supply 52 million European homes with Russian gas, or a quarter of the EU's needs. What the experts are clear about is that it was not an accident, because the explosions in both, many kilometers away, were so strong that they were even registered on the Richter scale of seismic movements. And it's precisely where Russia and the US got into a fight yesterday, during the meeting held in New York by the UN Security Council to clarify it. According to Marc-Antoine Almazega, director of the Center for Energy and Climate at the Ilfrey-French Institute for International Relations, the explosions are the latest episode in a long and lasting geopolitical confrontation between the US and Russia, where energy and infrastructure have become central and weaponized. None of the 3 gas pipelines were operational at the time of the explosions recorded last Monday, but they contained 800 million cubic meters of natural gas that's escaped to the surface through 4 leaks. For them, the few hopes that they had to control the European energy market this winter have also escaped. Russia, whose state company Gazprom built the facilities under the Baltic Sea together with its European partners to bypass Ukraine, accuses the US of having blown them up because the sanctions were not enough. What would they have to gain when precisely they tried to help the European allies to stop depending on Russian oil? Very easy. US liquefied gas companies must be rubbing their hands. It is possible, but unlike what happened with Gazprom, the first private company on which Vladimir Putin set eyes to nationalize 50% and put the other half in the hands of his oligarchs, in the cradle of capitalism, the interests of the big energy companies don't always match those in Washington. Unsolved Mystery. According to the Russian ambassador, Europe has been indefinitely deprived of a key route for the transport of a crucial energy resource, before recalling that Russia and Gazprom had invested huge amounts of money and effort in its construction, because it's the shortest and safest way to bring Russian gas to European consumers. Should we expect them to say that after masochistically bombing the nuclear power plant we were at ourselves, we've now started blowing up our pipelines? What is clear is that an active sabotage of this complexity and scale is far beyond the capacity of ordinary terrorists. Because the damage cannot even be evaluated until all the gas that could explode if divers were dispatched to the depths of the Baltic Sea comes out, the question of who blew up Nord Stream has remained unanswered. As verified by Denmark and Sweden in their letters of concern to the Security Council, it'll further disrupt the European energy market, speed up the hunt for alternative energies, and seriously harm the ecology in the Baltic Sea. Worse still, Navid Hanif, assistant to the UN Secretary General for Economic Development, warned ruefully that the discharge of hundreds of millions of cubic meters of gas into the atmosphere could result in thousands of tons of methane emissions over the next few years, or let's say 20 years. This could be 80 times the planet warming power of carbon dioxide, and about 30 times over 100 years. An even more worrying mystery than the identity of the saboteurs is that it is not yet possible to assess how much methane will escape into the atmosphere. Countries involved in the investigation of the Nord Stream 1 pipeline leak. Bubbling caused by gas leaks has stopped on the damaged Nord Stream 1 pipeline, but not on Nord Stream 2, the Swedish Coast Guard concluded. The investigation into those responsible for the alleged sabotage begins. Russia, which owns the pipelines, has sent a ship, while Sweden and Denmark, whose territorial waters are affected, have announced they will conduct a joint investigation. Germany and Poland also want to participate. High-tech equipment is needed to inspect gas pipes at a depth of 80 meters. For your analysis, a mini-submarine or drone that can video the size of the crater left by the explosion, as well as collect sand samples from a region the size of 3 football fields where bomb remnants may be present. Towards contradictory answers. Only Russia has this kind of equipment among the parties engaged, thus it may say that it's in charge of executing activities from beginning to end. The Danes and Swedes will undoubtedly prefer to borrow the equipment from the Americans, who are themselves suspected by Moscow of being complicit in the sabotage, given suspicions that the Russians are behind the sabotage of the pipelines. Of course, there is concern that any evidence that would implicate one of them will be destroyed. The Russians are already on the scene, and the Danes have announced that they've begun their search without providing any other information. However, without cooperation and agreement on the course of action to be taken, the operation could fail, or worse yet, produce inconsistent results. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, the subscription button, and the notification bell. To get notified when new videos are uploaded from this channel, please share your thoughts about the Nord Stream sabotage in the comment section below. Thank you.